Hello and welcome to the always sunny Groningen station. And we're gonna take this train to Amsterdam and then we're gonna take the Eurostar to London. So let's go! It's a 2-hour train ride from Groningen to Amsterdam. And we arrived at Amsterdam Central Station. We have a couple hours to spare here, so we're gonna explore the city a little bit. For this we took the north-south line of Amsterdam, which opened in 2018. Enjoy the rectangular subway trains, because you won't see them anymore in the coming videos. Then we went out at Vijzelgracht, saw some typical Amsterdam trams and walked to the Rijksmuseum, the place where the well-known I Amsterdam letters once stood. Then we took the tram back to the train station, which drives over the narrow streets of the city centre of Amsterdam. This street is so narrow that there is only one tram track, but there are two at the bridges over the canals, so that trams can pass each other. After going through the passport control, we could finally get on the Eurostar. This Eurostar service is a direct train from Amsterdam Central Station to London St Pancras. The Eurostar has been running from Amsterdam Central Station since 2018 and since 2020 there has been a direct train to London. Before 2020 you had to transfer or wait at Brussels South Station.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're currently arriving at Rotterdam Central Station. This stop is for passengers joining the train only.
And after the stop in Rotterdam, we go straight to Brussels.
Welcome aboard this Eurostar service to London St Pancras. Due to the heat yesterday, our services are slightly disrupted. We expect a delay of about 45 minutes on departure from Brussels.
Seriously? Yesterday's heat? Are those trains melted or something? And we're driving again. And look! There's an ICNG! That's a new train from the Dutch Railways that will go into service at the end of this year or early next year. Well, eventually the stop in Lille-France was abolished, so we could go to London in one go and catch up some time. And now we have arrived at the Channel Tunnel between England and France, which opened in 1994. And it is the perfect place to explore the train a little bit. And we are in the Channel Tunnel, under the channel, under the sea. This is a 20-minute long tunnel and we are traveling with the standard class, and I have to say that the leg room was less than I expected, so that's a little bad thing, but I really like that we are going 300 km an hour. By the way, this is a Valero 320 train made by Siemens, and this one makes this sound every now and then. But we made it to Britain. And we arrived at London St Pancras with this Eurostar. You can also see some older Eurostars like this one. This is a TMST train and these were built between 1992 and 1996. We are at one of the main reasons where I am, at least, in London, which is the Tube. This is gonna be my first time, so let's go! For this I bought an Oyster card and I got this one. This is a limited edition card due to the opening of the Elizabeth line last May. To get to our house we first took the Northern line to Bank. There was already one train at the platform, but we chose to take the next one because it will come 1 minute after this one. That will be quieter. And the quieter, the easier it is to film in it. Look what a beautiful image of the train. Now the platform is empty. Okay. Thank you, Madame Menel. Anyway, almost every line has different trains. This is the 1995 stock that came into service in 1998. Together with the 1996 stock, these are the first trains where the doors slide open along the outside. What do you think? First time in metro in London?
It's amazing. Oh, it's great.
Very great. The trains were much louder than I expected, but I sure enjoyed it. We arrived at Bank, and if I'm right, this is the new platform from this year. You are definitely right. This opened on May 16, 2022. On Bank we changed to the DLR, which stands for Docklands Light Railway. So this is a self-driving train, which means you can sit at the front and see what a driver can normally only see. The DLR was opened in 1987 and the network has been expanding ever since. For a large part, the DLR uses old railway tracks. Here it even drives along mainline trains. And we leave the DLR at West Ferry Station. And with that we have the first lines of our tube map. We're right now walking to Mile End Station because this is the closest station from where we sleep. Here we will take the district line to Whitechapel. And we came to Whitechapel because here the underground trains are going over the overground trains. And weird stuff here. Then we continued with the district line to
Tower Hill to exit for the Tower of London.
We're gonna walk along the river to do some tourist things like the Tower Bridge, Bank and St. Paul's Cathedral. After which we walked over the Millennium Bridge, which has the cables on the side, which is a very weird design. This bridge is for pedestrians only and was opened in 2000. However, after 2 days the bridge was closed again, because it was shaking a lot. Basically, the frequency of the pedestrian steps, which by the way became synchronized by the vibrations, were equal to the resonance of the bridge, which reinforced each other, or something like that. It's not for nothing that I'm talking about metros and not about quantum mechanics in my videos. I know this isn't quantum mechanics, but... And we arrived at Southwark, from where we took a Jubilee line train to Waterloo. This part of the Jubilee line is called the Jubilee line extension and opened in 1999. Platform screen doors can be found on this Jubilee line extension, so no nice shots of the train itself here. On the Jubilee line runs 1996 stock, which is basically a less advanced variant of the 1995 stock, because these had to be built faster. One effect of this is that the trains make a certain specific sound, which is this, instead of this. Unfortunately, it was very busy in the train, so now we are at Waterloo. Here we try to find the Waterloo and City line. After a long walk through Waterloo Station, we found the Waterloo and City line. This Waterloo and City line is by far the shortest tube line of the network. It runs from Waterloo to Bank and opened in 1898. However, only since 1994 has the line been part of the Underground. Before this, the line was served by Network South East, a passenger sector of British Rail. Their logo can still be seen on the platforms. On this line runs 1992 stock. And I have to admit that I made a little mistake in the previous video. Not the 1995 stock, but the 1992 stock where the first trains where the doors slide open on the outside. The trains consist of 4 coaches and are therefore much shorter than the other tube trains. And after 3 minutes and 40 seconds, we got to the other end of the line. And we're back on the new platform of Bank Station, like yesterday. Here we take a southbound train. And after leaving Borough Station, we drive through the oldest part of the deep level underground.
The next station is Overground. This is the northern.
The stretch between Borough and Stockwell opened all the way back in 1890. And we arrived at Clapham North with its small island platform in the middle. When the station was built in 1900, an island platform was chosen because it was cheaper to build and because it fit under the road above the station. Building under privately owned buildings costs more money because the building owner must receive compensation. So they tried to stay under the road. Later the trains and the train tunnels became wider and the platforms became as narrow as they are today. Then we took the Northern Line one stop back to Stockwell, where we took the Victoria Line to Queen Park. But for some obscure reason I don't seem to have filmed there. So we changed on the last minute to Victoria Line, and then I thought there are only two more deep level lines left. So now we're going to take the Piccadilly line and the other line. Voice over. How come that you don't know? The Bakerloo line, of course. I must say I was looking forward to these two lines. The Piccadilly line has 1973 stock and the Bakerloo line hereafter has 1972 stock. So these trains are already 50 years old. The age was certainly noticeable in the acceleration of the trains. They accelerated very slowly and a bit jerky compared to the newer tube stock. But it is also possible that it is because they were very full. Anyway, the trains haven't left yet. The hope is that they will be replaced by the end of the decade. But it is quite possible that they haven't disappeared yet from the network by 2032 and that they will reach their 60th birthday. Subscribe if you don't want to miss that video. Here at Oxford Circus we changed to the Central Line that took us all the way back to Mile End. This will change our tube map from this to this. Good morning! Today I'm gonna take the brand new Elizabeth line and after that some older tube lines too. But first to the DLR. We are now at Limehouse and we're gonna take the DLR to Canary Wharf. Here at Limehouse you can see very nicely how the DLR, that only existed since 1987, uses old railway viaducts, which help to keep construction costs low. The DLR trains run automatically, so we could sit in the front again. Then we now turn right near Poplar, where a few different lines intersect, and we arrive at Canary Wharf. If you want to see the video of the whole ride, link is in the description. This part has been newly constructed and is located between the skyscrapers of this business district. And that makes for nice videos. So we just walked out of the station and ended up in the middle of this shopping center. But eventually we found a way to Canary Wharf tube station. And before every London transport enthusiast scrolls through the comments to say that changing at Heron Quays DLR station is faster, I know. I just wanted to change on Canary Wharf. In the middle of Canary Wharf there is a beautiful park on top of the station, Canary Wharf. Then we entered the station through the back entrance, looking for the Jubilee and Elizabeth line. This station opened as part of the 1999 Jubilee line extension, and that Jubilee line was soon found. And heard. It's so spacious here inside. It's wonderful. That's right.
Yes.
But then, when following the signs to the Elizabeth line, we had to go straight through the mall again. Apparently, the Elizabeth line Canary Wharf station is a completely different station. And yes, the new station also has a roof garden. Which is pretty nice. Then we went down and saw very cool escalators. Except that you can't use them. Then we filled our Jubilee and District Line bottles at the first water refill station we found in London. After which we had to go outside to enter the station. We're at the Elizabeth line. Especially for the Elizabeth line, I have purple socks. Yeah, I saw more London transport enthusiasts doing that, so I thought I'd give it a go. We got on the train and it was very nice to travel without the noise the underground makes. Also, the travel time had become significantly shorter. Let's play a game. Find the Oyster card. Did you see it? It's right there. Then we got out at Farringdon, where... Wow! All over the core section there are platform screen doors. It has its advantages, but because of that you can't see the train very well, unfortunately. First of all, these stations have a lot of room. But we came to Farringdon because of two things. A Smithfield Market and there must be a secret lift to Barbican Station. For this you need to be at the eastern end of the platforms and go up to the mezzanine level where you will find the elevator in this little area. But wait, how do I know this? Well, I watched Jeff Marshall's videos and you should do it too after this video if you like the underground. Yes, this is the place. This is the place. And we're at Barbican. So this lift will take you directly from Farringdon to Barbican. 2 stations on the same metro line. Then we walked back to Farringdon via Smithfield Market, got back to the platform and got back on the train. We took this train to Tottenham Court Road, where we changed to the Northern Line. With this train we went south to Embankment, from where we were the average tourist. Looking at the London Eye, the Big Ben and Westminster Bridge, and Buckingham Palace. And now we are here, Green Park Station. From here we took the old Piccadilly line trains to Leicester Square, and they were, as usual, very busy. But after one stop I was able to get a seat. And we arrived at Leicester Square where we hope to find Chinatown. We ate there and ended up at Charing Cross. Here we took the Northern Line back to Leicester Square. And here on Leicester Square we're gonna change to the Piccadilly line, on which we had to wait 8 minutes due to a delay. Which was quite unnecessary as we went to Covent Garden Station, which was only 276 meters away. i.e. the shortest distance between 2 metro stations on the same line of the underground. Well, here we took some pictures because it's a nice station. And then we went to Holborn to change to the Central Line. And on the Central Line we find 1992 stock. Here at Liverpool Street we're going to change to the Circle Line to Tower Hill to see the Tower Bridge in the dark.
Beautiful.
Hopefully. At the subsurface underground lines you have to be careful to take the right train because they share the tracks. And they are all the same trains. Sort of the S stop. Why the S and not the year? I have no idea. Tower Bridge in the dark. And we're back at Tower Hill Station. Now we're gonna take the district line to Mile End and walk home. And that changes our tube map from this to this. Good morning from Mile End. Join me as I'm crisscrossing London today, trying the Thameslink trains and when I try the double-decker buses. When I finally found them. But first, back to the good old Central Line, from where we had to change to the Piccadilly line at Holborn. As always, stand to the right, walk on the left, waiting on the train, which will be overcrowded, because it's the Piccadilly line. Forget to film, get out at your station, which is Leicester Square by the way, and film yourself going through the fare gates. Here we flew with our broom past all kinds of Harry Potter locations, after which we disapparated and apparated at Embankment. So we are on Embankment and now we're gonna get the district line to Temple. And now I'm way too deep because I had to find this beautiful tunnel. I just really like the color scheme. This tunnel is not used much either, so that also makes a difference. Okay, back to the subsurface lines, where we have a district line train towards Temple. This part of the district and circle lines was built in the Thames along the bank, so that no buildings had to be demolished. In this same land extension a sewer was also built, which used to be the Thames itself. Ugh. Also a road was built on top of the land extension to reduce congestion in the city. And we arrived at Temple and we're gonna do here something very important. And that is to buy some new tea, which is not sponsored by the way, so please subscribe. Otherwise Hey, I see an old underground map. Apparently there is an old underground map from 1932 at the entrance here at Temple Station. And we're back. Now we're heading to King's Cross. And this time not with the underground, except for the little bit to Blackfriars, but with Thameslink, which is not part of the TfL, Transport for London, which runs everything we had so far as transport in London. Instead, Thameslink is part of National Rail. Before boarding we had to wait a whole 15 minutes for the train, which is a very big contrast to the frequent underground services we had in the past couple of days. But here we finally leave from Blackfriars Station, which is a station on the bridge over the Thames, which is pretty cool. So for those who don't know, Thameslink is a train service from all kinds of places south of London to all kinds of places north of London. And these trains all run on the same route through central London.
City Thames. Exit here for St Paul's Cathedral. The doors will open automatically at the next station.
Unfortunately, the comfort was very bad. I found the legroom very small and the seats were very hard. No wonder they are called ironing board chairs by some people. This route through central London consists of all kinds of older railway lines that have been there for a long time. There is even an abandoned King's Cross platform. So here we are. Here we have St Pancras, and right next to it we have King's Cross. Two beautiful stations built by two different railway companies. We went to have a look at platform 9 3/4, but unfortunately the gate was already closed. So we explored the stations for a while and took the Victoria line. On the Victoria line runs 2009 stock, by far the newest stock on the deep level underground. But for some obscure reason I don't seem to have filmed there. Now we are at Warren Street and we're gonna change to the Northern Line to Charing Cross to get a double-decker bus to our place where we stay. I like that when you walk into the Northern Line part of the station, that everything has the black theme, which is the color of the line. And there are the buses. These double-decker buses are known worldwide. Wait, what am I doing? Why am I taking the Bakerloo line? Okay then, we'll take the Bakerloo line, I guess. Well, we took the Bakerloo line to Oxford Circus as we thought we saw on Charing Cross that the line was going to start there. And we wanted to take the line from the beginning to make sure we got a seat up front. We definitely saw buses. Like this one from Abellio, which is a subsidiary of the Dutch Railways. But our bus didn't come. Then it turned out that the bus started at Charing Cross after all, so we went back with the Bakerloo line. What I did like is that these trains still had the stickers with no smoking on it. And of course that we had a seat in the Bakerloo line. Wow. And we're back on Charing Cross. So our tube map now looks like this. And here it is. Double-decker bus number 15. This one was recommended on the internet because it passes by all kinds of famous places. In addition, it also went as far as our sleeping place, so that was a no-brainer. Even though we weren't in the most optimal place in the queue, we were able to get the front row at the top level. So that goal was accomplished. What struck me is that there are many different bus operators in London. In the Netherlands, it is examined per area which company makes the best offer, like a province or a city. In London, this is per bus route. Therefore, from what I could find, there are now 12 different operators. But it's possible that it already changed in the meantime if you watch this video from the future. Whatever operator, all operators must adhere to the red color of the buses. Another thing is that in London you pay for a ride instead of per kilometer like in the Netherlands. So you only have to tap once instead of twice. The downside, however, is that you probably won't take the bus for one stop. But who does that anyway? In London you pay £1.65 for a bus ride, but that may be different if you watch this video in the future. Good morning! We are now at Water DLR station and we are going to a beautiful station on the oldest metro line in the world. But first, yesterday we got the Overground and I didn't vlog, so voiceover, show us! The Overground is a completely separate system from the Underground. Full-size trains run here on often old routes. This Overground system has been around since 2007 and is operated by Arriva under the branding TfL, Transport for London. It still expands regularly and all lines are shown as orange on the tube map, which can make it a bit confusing. But yeah, if you have already used all the colors, you have to do something, right? Because these seats are on the side, there is a lot of space in the train. Also, compared to the Underground, trains run very quietly and smoothly. The trains are powered by sometimes third rail and sometimes overhead lines. Here at Gospel Oak you see it powered with an overhead line, and here at Whitechapel it's powered with a third rail. This third rail is next to the driving rails, and if you look closely you can see the sockets that extract the power. And now, back to the DLR station. And for the first time, we were in the middle of the train. And from Bank, we walked to Leadenhall Market, one of the Harry Potter locations in London. And we arrived at Liverpool Street Station. Here we're going to take the Metropolitan line or the Hammersmith City line to Baker Street. These two lines both run on the same track to Baker Street, so we'll take whichever comes first. The Circle line also runs to Baker Street on the same track, but we already had that one in episode 3. So I wanted to try a new line. And we are in the Metropolitan line. First time. A big difference here is that the seats are rotated 90 degrees. I don't know what this is called in English, so if you know, let me know. Here we're passing not so secret lift at Barbican to the Elizabeth line Farringdon platform from episode 3 and...
The next station is Baker Street.
Look how beautiful this is. Oh wait, this is the wrong platform. Then it should be here. This is platform 5 and 6 at Baker Street, and this is the oldest metro station in the world. This station opened all the way back in 1863, when the American Civil War was still in full swing. Einstein wasn't born yet, and Steenwijk didn't exist yet. Okay, that last one is not true, but at least this was built a long time ago. But seriously, before the station opened, the whole concept of an underground train did not exist. From Amsterdam to Paris and from Tokyo to Berlin, this metro was the first. In the beginning, the underground trains weren't even electric. Steam trains ran here. That's why there are so many ventilation holes on the sides. It's great to see that many historical elements have been preserved, like these benches or this gate. And it makes that it feels like the olden days. And this is Baker Street. This is my favorite station. We got a Jubilee line train one stop up north to St. John's Wood, because this station has beautiful signage and uplighters by the escalators. Yeah, that was actually the only reason we went here. So let's go to Leicester Square. Turns out that, along with a bit from Southwark to Waterloo, these were the only times we went with the Jubilee line. And because there are platform screen doors there, this is actually the only good shot I have of the 1996 stock. On the Bakerloo line runs 1972 stock, and although these are very old trains, the seats are very comfortable. Oh, and we came across this station that I thought looked nice. At Piccadilly Circus we changed to the Piccadilly line. But, well, it was so busy that I couldn't film properly. And as always, it's always very busy on the Piccadilly line. So, when it's busy, I cannot film in the train. Hope you understand that. And we walked to Holborn station, and now we're going to take the tube to the Tower Bridge. For this we go with the Central line to Liverpool Street and with the Circle line to Tower Hill. And we are back for the fourth time at Tower Hill. And this time we went inside the Tower Bridge. Apparently, double-decker buses have a white top with a code. And here we see a train pulling out of Cannon Street. And a bus at London Bridge. And this is a Thames Clipper, part of a ferry system which is part of the public transport network in London. And these are the stairs back down. Okay, we walked all the way... Wait. It's dark. Well, time flies. We walked all the way to Canada Water. There is a sign. This is Canada Water Station, which opened in 1999 with the Jubilee line extension. The station is very spacious and grey. Here at Canada Water, we're gonna take the Overground to Whitechapel. Here we go through the oldest tunnel under a navigable river in the world, the Thames Tunnel. Jaco Hassett has a good video about that should appear in the corner right now.
The next station is Mile End. Change for the Central line. Mind the gap, please. This is Mile
Hello and welcome to the last London vlog episode. After we went to Liverpool Street via Venture Street, let's do the last tube line we haven't had yet, the Thameslink City line, which will take us to the Eurostar at St. Pancras. Actually, there is nothing special about this because we have already had this route and trains in the previous episode. But now I can say that I've had all the underground lines. And we arrived at King's Cross St. Pancras. Here we're gonna say bye bye to the underground and we're gonna say hello to the Eurostar. If you can't get enough, I made an underground train compilation with unused footage. This is on my second channel and it should appear right now. Anyway, at 1 PM we left St. Pancras with the Eurostar, to then fly through the British countryside and go through the tunnel to France where there was more countryside. If you want to know more about the Eurostar, I recommend you to watch episode 1, where we went directly with the Eurostar from Amsterdam to London. But now we have to change to the Thalys in Brussels. This transfer took a while, so I had some time to spare to film some trains for my second channel. And then the Thalys came, which was of the PBKA type, which surprised me because I did not know that this type also drove to Amsterdam, because I had only seen PBA Thalys trains in Amsterdam before. Anyway, we boarded and departed from Brussels. These PBKA trains were built in 1997 and just like with the Eurostar, you can reserve your seat. And with speeds up to 300 km an hour, it didn't take long before we were back in the Netherlands. And here on Rotterdam Centraal, we were even able to transfer to a Dutch intercity train to Groningen. That could get us to Groningen half an hour earlier, but we had already paid for the Thalys, so that was an easy choice. By the way, if you want to know more about these ICMM trains, watch my huge video about the different types of rolling stock in the Netherlands. We drove on the high-speed line to Amsterdam Central Station via Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, where we could take a direct intercity to Groningen due to construction work. Hope you liked this little London series. Unfortunately, I didn't film much more on the way back, so that's why this video wasn't that long. I definitely hope to go back again sometime in the future for a tube challenge or something. However, I can't do this without you, so please subscribe. It's free.